the HICA conference on a number of occasions, and it really is just nice to interact with other players in the industry, and I think that really is what I take out of it. It's also obviously very interesting to listen to the different panels which we have, see whether we can learn a little bit more, see whether there's any stuff that we can take home, because we certainly do. We come here for the reason of taking home something which we can.
And for you, what was that? If you could point out one major thing.
Well, I think on the first day, Chris Hart, I think gave a very good synopsis of where the market is and what is happening in Africa, and the fact that more and more countries within Africa are, starting to show signs of growth, and that is quite exciting for us, because our growth opportunities, we believe, in the next few years are going to be those outside of the South African borders. So that for me was very encouraging to hear.
And at the back of that, you're expanding into Botswana.
Correct, yes. Our first foray outside of South Africa is into Botswana. It is one of our mid-tier select service hotels, which again is also something different, because they don't have any of those in the majority of countries in Africa. So for us, it's really is a testing ground as to whether there is a potential market for a hotel which is not full service and not in the 4 or 5 star segment of the market.
What was interesting for me, though, when I was looking at how many establishments are opening in places like China and in other parts of the world, and then how many establishments are opening here in Africa, not a lot. And yet at this time, when it does seem to be a little bit depressed, the overall industry, you planning to expand?
We are a growth company. We've always indicated that we wish to get into Africa. We've had a look at many other areas in the world, China being one of them, and have come back home again to say, let's rather make that big move here in Africa, where we understand the people, where the people understand us, where we can conduct our business in English, which is very important for us, especially if you're going into a new market for the first time. And hence the reason why focus on Africa.
And what I want to ask you is your numbers in 2011, your earnings, better from 6 months ending to December, better in 2011 than they were in 2010.
Yes.
And that was actually quite surprising to see that you did have significantly much more happening in your operations. Do you know what you're doing right? And you must.
I think we're doing hoteliering right, and I believe that the consistency, I think, of the group, of the product, probably does play a big part in it. But to also say that we opened a number of new hotels in 2010, and as with any new hotel, it takes time for the market to understand its positioning, and for you to get a loyal clientele built up for those particular hotels. And we have found that all the new developments, because we opened 9 new hotels and 1 extension in 2010, those are now all starting to bear fruit for the group.
Are you seeing, though, because in the discussion that was had this morning, there did seem to be sometimes a little bit of a disconnect in terms of you would have people like yourself in the operating space, and this is what we would like to see from African countries to be able to go into that market. We want to see stability, we want to see all these factors, and then we would have somebody from government say those things are in place. But it does seem to be that there is a way to go for Africa still, and we're not quite there.
I think you are right. We're certainly progressing, I think, at a wonderful rate. Certainly in the last couple of years that I've been traveling in Africa. And I think for any investment, political stability is one of the most important factors. The risk which you take as an investor, needs to come with some safeguard that your investment is going to be safe into the future.
Clifford, what I want to ask you really, really quickly is the countries that you're interested in and that you might consider operating in.
Right. Obviously, the first look that we're having is in the SADC region, which we believe there are still a number of opportunities which we can look at. Also, East Africa is very exciting for us: Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. So that's another area that we're looking at. And then on the west side, we're looking at Ghana. Ghana is also a very exciting prospect.